Good afternoon and welcome to another episode of the Keswick Ripple podcast. My name is Jim Lang. I'm the Director of Guest Services here at America's Keswick, and each week we want to bring you a testimony that we hope encourages your heart and life. And so our main ministry here is addiction recovery. It's the heartbeat of our ministry. And one of the most dynamic parts about it is that when a man or woman comes to one of our programs and their life is radically changed by the gospel of Jesus Christ, they go back out to their families, their churches, their communities, and God uses them in a mighty way. And so today I want to introduce you to Adam. And Adam is a graduate of the Colony of Mercy. He's now in our discipleship program. And so welcome, Adam. Thank you for being here and being willing to share.
Thank you for having me.
And so why don't you start out by telling everyone kind of what your life was like before coming to the Colony?
Life for me before the Colony, if I could sum it up in one word, it would definitely be struggle. Trying to manage my life, always trying to constantly look for the next paycheck, or have to figure out like my next place to live, or who I'm going to wind up being with in the future. All these things, just worry, and I could never really find like a permanent solution to any of the problems that I was having.
So how did you get started in your addiction?
Wow, it started kind of innocently, if that makes any sort of sense. My sister, she had a bag of weed, and she's like, if I show you promise you won't tell Dad? And I was like, yeah, sure, I promise. And as soon as she showed me, I was like, I'm telling. And she convinced me to smoke, and then she had that, on my back, and she's like, if you tell on me, I'll tell on you. And I kind of just liked it so much, I just kept doing it, and we kind of kept it a secret until it gradually got worse into bigger things.
So how did you hear about the Colony of Mercy?
I heard about the Colony of Mercy from a former boss of mine named Jim Burke, and also from a good friend of mine at my church, Building on the Rock. They had been pushing me to make this step that was very much needed in my life to get help for the problems that I was having. And after them being persistent and pushing, I finally just made that leap of faith and signed up.
So you went through the 4-month program, you graduated, you signed on for an additional 3 months in discipleship, then you've extended since then, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So during all that time, what has God been teaching you and showing you while you've been here?
My biggest thing is being here. I'm learning how immature and irresponsible I was. Just now I'm figuring out that alcohol or marijuana or whatever I was doing was not necessarily the issue. It was what I was using to hide the real issue. And being in discipleship, I'm learning how to address the real problems, and I have a bunch of people that are very supportive of me and always willing to help me out whenever I have a problem.
So it's interesting because when people are looking for treatments, a lot of time they're looking for the shortest possible stay. And so not only did you stay for 4 months, but you signed on for an additional for discipleship. What made you make that decision?
Well, for the 4 months, the entire 4 months, I counted every single day in my purple book. I just made the check mark, and coming towards the end of my stay after the 4 months, I kind of did a little self-evaluation. And I was just looking at the reasons why I wanted to leave, why I wanted to get back out there, and it was just not good. And I had a lot of people telling me, like, you should probably stay. It would be in your best interest. Not forcing me or anything, just telling me they want to see me do good, and to have to prevent me from coming back a second time, they said an extension or discipleship would be the way to go.
Okay. And so you were here during COVID-19. You're living here with a whole bunch of other guys. What has been the most difficult part of being in the Colony?
The guys are great. Being with a bunch of men, we obviously, get on each other's nerves. after a while it's bound to happen. But I think the biggest thing, the hardest thing for me was the counseling. Going places where you really didn't want to go, learning things about yourself, and actually talking about like feelings. That's the hard thing to do. It's easy to kind of just stuff it down and just keep pushing on, but actually like unpacking a lot of stuff that's went on in your life, or things that don't really sit well with you, is the hardest thing for me, I think.
And so, more than likely, there's someone watching this podcast today that is struggling with an addiction to drugs or alcohol or pornography or something, and they're just overwhelmed. What would you say to them today?
I would definitely say that there is help. You're not alone. All you have to do is want to get help, and if you ask, you shall receive. So, if you're struggling with anything, I would reach out to your local church or a friend, talk about whatever issues you're having, and take the next step to actually to get the help that you need, because it's definitely there.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Adam, for spending a couple minutes with us and sharing your story. We want to thank you for joining us, and we hope this testimony encouraged your heart. And if it has, we encourage you to like it, to share it on Facebook, and we will see you next time.